Hello, everybody. Welcome to this follow-up for Terror Twilight by Pavement. I did a couple EPs and a single during this reaction. I'm not going to really touch on those. My opinions on those have mostly stayed the same, but I will be mostly talking about Terror Twilight here, and I will also kind of do a little bit of a follow-up with just Pavement in general. I'm ranking the albums, and then I'm doing like a top 10 songs. So with Terror Twilight, spoilers here, technically my least favorite Pavement album, but I still think it's quite good. It was actually very hard for me to rank the 5 Pavement albums that I heard, and some of them I even wanted to like put together, and some of them I feel are together. But it's really just because like there's some tracks that are a little boring, or it's like its personality isn't fully there compared to other albums. And some of that can be said about Brighten the Corners as well. But anyway, track by track here. Spit on a Stranger. It's just another great mellow indie rock track that they're solid at. Folk Jam, they're kind of feeling more like Wilco and the Shins here. It's okay, but you can definitely feel that turn of the millennium vibe coming from the indie rock scene there. You Are a Light, decent. I don't come back to it a ton, but it's fine. Cream of Gold, really interesting vibe on this one. It almost feels a bit like stonery, I guess you could say. There's kind of just that like heaviness to it. Major Leagues, favorite on the album. Great Americana country vibe with the indie rock mixed in there. Love it. Platform Blues, kind of wild. I don't love it, but it's fun to listen to when it's on. And Don't Cry. It can be a bit boring at times, but I think it's a well-written track. Billy, another odd one like Cream of Gold. It's a weird mix of styles that Pavement's messed with before, and it's kind of coming back again. Speak See Remember, one of my least favorites on the album, just a bit bland. The Hex, really interesting. It feels like Pavement trying out like the post-rock, slint, almost post-hardcore kind of sound a little bit. Really interesting. Then Carrot Rope. The music almost sounds like a Stereolab send-up with like the little like the warbly synth, which they toyed with on a Brighten the Corners track or a Wowie Zowie track, right? It sounded very much like that kind of clean, smooth Stereolab indie rock, indie pop sound. And it kind of has this like bittersweet outro thing of like it's bouncy and silly, but like the melancholy vocals are coming through on that. So it's like it's a solid album. It's just compared to other ones for other reasons, I don't like it as much as others. So if I were to rank the albums that I've heard, which I believe are 5, I hope I haven't missed any. I don't think I have. I would go with 5, Terror Twilight. 4, Brighten the Corners, although they're very close. I'd almost put them together. 3 is Slanted and Enchanted. 2, Wowie Zowie, and 1, Crooked Rain, Crooked Rain. And Crooked and Wowie are very close to being tied as well. But Crooked, I think, just edges out over all of the others because there's more tracks on it that I like. That's really all it comes down to. Wowie has a lot of interesting stuff happening, and it has some of my favorite tracks on there as well. But it's just too much. It's like too bloated of things that I just don't love. Slanted, I just think is really solid, even though there's maybe like a third of the tracks that I just don't like. They're just a little too crazy and eccentric for me, but the others I think are brilliant. Brighten the Corners, it's just kind of right there, straight across the bow. And then Terror Twilight just had a few more tracks on it than Brighten the Corners that I didn't like. And I was trying to think like, like what is it about Pavement that I really dig? And I really think it's like, I don't love the comical stuff. I think it's funny and fun. I don't hate it. But I just really like the more down-to-earth, melancholy, indie rock tracks, and that kind of influenced the way I arranged my top 10 songs. So top 10 starting from the bottom. Number 10, Spit on a Stranger. 9, Range Life. 8, Grave Architecture. 7, We Dance. 6, Finn. 5 is Here. 4 is Shady Lane. 3 is Major Leagues. 2 is Gold Sounds, and 1 is Zurich is Stained. I was kind of surprised to see Here so far away from Zurich is Stained, but I don't know what it is about Zurich that I just keep coming back to. Like, that feels like quintessential Pavement to me, and it's really hard to explain why. But like, if I were to say like you know, like tell someone like, have you heard Pavement? And they're like, no. I would show them Zurich is Stained, Gold Sounds, and then like Major Leagues and Shady Lane, like pretty much those top 5 tracks. I'd be like, here you go. But like if they wanted, you know, more, if I knew they were into the more silly stuff, I'd go with something else. But that's the way I feel about Pavement. The way I feel about Pavement. Great band. Super glad to be like done and have heard all their stuff. Lots of great material there. So anyway, that is my follow up for Pavement, Twilight, all that jazz, and indie rock. So until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Godspeed.